This math equation is much more complex than the x plus y is equals to z. Integrate, put a z on the we. No, baby. This is the most complex math equation you will ever get. One that does not need a calculator. This math equation does not lead, before we continue, say hi to Genevieve. Say hi to Genevieve. Thank you. This math equation does not need a calculator. And it has beaten people with IQs of Albert Einstein. Do you know why? Because this is the kind of math equation where 1 plus 1 is equals 98.560. You're confused. Let me dissect it for you. Wounds over logic. Wounds will always win over logic. Let me draw two people. Yeah? Sweet girl of mine, I will making up for all time. This one is wounds. This one is logic. You have a tug of war between these two. Who do you think is gonna win? Most of you are gonna say logic. I can bet my left ear, this one, that wound is gonna win. Do you know why? Because one, wound has the leverage of emotion. Wound has the leverage of emotion. Two, wound has the leverage of history. Sweet girl of mine, I will making up for all lost time. Wound has the leverage of history. And to make it worse, number three, wound has the leverage of access to your nervous system. Let's go to logic. What does logic have? Books, podcasts, whatever, friendship advice. What does logic have? 2-4 months of self-awakening or self-discovery. While wounds has like 5, 10, 11, 20 years of history. And three, what does logic have? Social media. Now, if you look at these two distinctive descriptions of these two, we can already tell who is gonna win. Wound. Now, the reason I've set up this math equation for you is because one, the human mind perceives things better when it's in the form of figures, and two, my classes are never boring. Yes. So wound is gonna win. Apply this situation, this wound logic tug of war in relationships. Sweet girl of mine, now we're making up for all time. Hizo ni gani wanaleta maiza mabani juu nakaa vizuri, dance na mimi kiche vile watu wanaweka energy vizuri tamashani, dance na mimi. In the concept of relationships, a very good theoretic scenario, very good one, common among so many people. Yeah, we're gonna use communication. The aspect of relationships that is called communication. Yeah. Your partner starts giving you inconsistent communication. They start flaking out. You feel like, you know what? They're breadcrumbing you. What happens? Emotions. Now listen, this is why wounds work over logic. Number one, before you go to the books that you read and the podcast you listen to, you are gonna go to the emotion you feel. The emotion you felt when you were first abandoned. Number one, emotional abandonment. Sweet girl of mine, now we're making up for all time. Number two, before you go to the 2 months of self-development and self-awakening that you've had over January to March, you are going to go to history. Mommy and daddy left me like he's going to leave me. Feeling, I've been here before. That is history speaking, or familiarity with the pain. Yeah, familiar pain. And number three, before you go to the social media, you know, before you go to listen to Shira 7 to teach you about detachment, or you come to Tina Love to teach you about nonchalance, you are going to go to your nervous system. Your nervous system is going to speak in terms of anxiety, stress, na my emotions kadhalika. Sit with me. Who has already won? In this situation where you're already getting inconsistent communication, who has won? It's your wounds. So the reason I'm saying your wounds are always going to win over your logic is because your wounds are felt. Your wounds are like scars. Your wounds are still there. You might be moving through life, but the pain of the abandonment you felt when you were 5, it is so freaking real at 36. It is still so freaking real at 45. It is still hella fucking real at 68. Yeah? Now, they say there's this term in math. Today we are going to incorporate math and therapy because I'm Tina Love, yeah? How to ensure, and that is why I said when we started, this equation beats even the smartest of people, because 1 + 1 is 98.560. Now, 1 + 1 does not make sense to give you 98.560. What I'm trying to say is communication. Your partner has given you inconsistent communication, or at least they're starting to feel a bit flaky. Even as much as you know all these things about self-contained, you know all these things about how to stay regulated and nonchalant and not to give out your power, especially my women babes. What happens? You flake out, you write paragraphs. I've written paragraphs. Even this year, I've written paragraphs. And am I embarrassed of that? Absolutely not. Because that's the depth that I provide. And if you can't be the level of depth, then you're the one missing out, not me. Hello, ladies, clock it. And gents, note it down. So 1 + 1 is going to give you 98.560 every time, because your wounds are going to win. But if you want 1 + 1, but if you want 1 + 1 to give you 2, it's about, there's this thing, not reciprocating, overturning this equation. This thing is in math, my computer science people, where the denominator becomes the numerator and the numerator becomes the denominator, that one. So in this case, it's about logic over wounds. But now, it's not just logic over wounds. It can't work like that. It's logic over wounds plus let me put Genevieve down. Say goodbye to my Genevieve. In this case, it's not just logic over wounds. It's logic over wounds plus, for it to be wholesome, yeah? It's logic over wounds plus safety. Sweet girl of mine, now we're making up for all lost time. Logic over wounds plus safety. Now listen, the reason I've told you this equation will not work without the safety is because at the end of the day, we are primal human. We are primal beings. When life gets to the worst, we just focus on where will I sleep, what will I eat, what will I wear. That is our primal instinct. So in this case, logic represents what you know, or at least the awareness that you've accumulated over time. Wounds represent, in this case, wounds does not represent the pain. It represents your acceptance of the pain, working with the wounds, not against them. And adding safety in terms of working with your nervous system. Let me tell you, I will die on this hill. Nervous system regulation. I will die on this hill, because the reason a lot of people get stuck is because some people focus so much on logic, ignore their emotions. So you find people become apathetic. They don't feel. They know. You meet someone who is they're geniuses. Like, this person knows so much, but they have no sense of humanity towards them. Other people focus so much on wounds in terms of the emotion that they ignore the logic side of things. The fact, like what is being presented to you. They focus on what was done to them. And you find this kind of people tend to develop a victim mindset, yeah? They tend to develop a sort of, oh, Mimi, I was wronged. Instead of understanding that, yes, this person wronged you, but you still have the power to take your power back. But the smart people understand that it's a wholesome approach. It's about logic, what you know, over wounds, what you feel, or your awareness of the pain, acceptance of that pain, coupled with nervous system regulation that brings about safety. Because like I told you, as much as it's in your heart, as much as you know it in your mind, it is also in your body. You can't run away from that. It is in your body. So it's about, and that way, when you harness this equation, 1 + 1 becomes 2. So now you're wondering, Tina, what do I do? What do I do? Listen, let's start with the logic part of things. Let me dissect this for you, because you know, nakupenda wesoko. Let's start with the logic side of things. Logic is knowledge. What you know. It's about first understanding that, yes, I know I should, but I understand as well that I was doing certain things or I was feeling a certain way, and whatever I was feeling might be affecting what I know. Okay, so it's about accepting that you have this knowledge, but also understanding that it's not the only thing that is in power play right here. Okay, number 2, wounds. Like I said, in this case, wounds is not what was done to you, it's your acceptance of how it affected you. So in the case of wounds, I'm speaking from a place of acceptance. Now listen to me very carefully. I'm not here to tell you spiritual shenanigans and tell you, oh, even as much as they wronged you, the Bible says, give them, they slap you on one cheek, you give them the other. I beg, they slap you on one cheek, kick them in the groin. They slap you on the other cheek, pluck an eyeball out. Me, I'm not here to preach peace, love, and light. Please, no. That kind of thing has sent people into martyrdom very early in life. When I speak acceptance, I speak about coming from listen to me as I speak life into your reality. When I speak of acceptance, I mean looking at what happened or what these people did in your childhood or whatever. Understanding how it impacted you, basically saying, you know what, they did this and this, they walked out on me, and now I feel like this. It made me feel like this. It made me feel hurt, abandoned, worthless. It made me feel this and this and this. And because I understand it made me feel like this and this, I understand that I am in a position to alchemize that emotion, to alchemize that pain. Not for them. I am not, and listen, when you take responsibility, when you take ownership of your pain, you're not relieving those people of the responsibility of taking accountability for what they did to you. Let me not find you becoming a walk over mat. When you take accountability of your pain, you actually create more responsibility for them, because this communicates to the universe that, you know what, you've faced what happened. They are going to have to face it. Remember, they said, what you do unto another, you do unto yourself. So as you take responsibility, as you face that pain, best believe they are going to face it in one way or another. That is why most of the time people who hurt you normally come back after you've healed. It's because spiritually, as you are processing all these things and you're taking accountability and you're forgiving them and you're forgiving yourself, you are actually clearing the karmic debt. And now it's left up to them. So they're the ones with the deficit, and now they're the ones who have to face it. So it's actually much more detrimental for them when you heal. Healing is dangerous for the people who hurt you. Well, that's why people come to say sorry. So I say acceptance of this pain, because like I said in the Bible, Jesus cast out demons because he was able to call them out. He would say, leave that man, so and so, leave that man. That is what it means symbolically when it comes to healing and to moving on and to basically ensuring that your wounds do not win over your logic. It's about accepting, facing that pain and saying, you know what, they did this to me. My inner child felt hurt, felt abandoned, felt scared, felt all these things, and I feel bad that she had to go through that. But I am here and I am in a better position to understand that, first of all, I did not deserve that kind of treatment. Second of all, I can make better for myself. And third of all, I am in control because I am the control itself. Okay? Acceptance. So knowledge of what is best for you, coupled with acceptance of what was done to you, finally sealed with what you are. Oh, God. I am dropping so many gems for you. Let us start again. Knowledge of what is best for you. Either you say, I should do this, I know I should. Coupled with acceptance of what was done to you and how it affected you, that's a plain, and how it affected you, put together with the safety in your body, yeah, with somatic safety. Now, this is the most practical side of things, because let me sing. If you're not Kenyan, you won't understand, but there's this song that says, mbona wanitazama kisha wanza kulia, kama nimekukosea naomba nisamehe, hapana hujanikosea, minalia kwa furaha, mapenzi unayonipa sijawahi kupata. My voice broke. Translation: that song is basically a woman and a man, and the first part is a woman saying, is a man asking the woman, why are you looking at me and crying? Have I done anything? If I've hurt you, tell me and I will apologize and I will make it up to you. But the woman is saying to her, I'm not looking at you crying because you've hurt me. I'm looking at you crying because you've given me a love I've never received before, and I'm just overwhelmed. My Kenyans understood, my non-Kenyans have translated for you. So like I said, the last part is somatic safety. Now, This is where you're gonna have to work with your body. I emphasize this a lot when it comes to this. Your body is your best friend. She and he has been with you since day one, since you left your mama's and stepped onto earth. She has been with you, and she and he will be with you till your last dying day. This means to get through life smoothly, or at least to get through life in a healthy way, you work with your body. Yeah? Somatic safety, EFT tapping. So I'm going to give you an example. Let's say in this situation, this person has inconsistent communication. Emotional abandonment has been felt. Familiar pain has been felt. Anxiety, stress is being felt. What happens? Yes, your emotions are all over the place. For example, let me put these markers down. Like EFT tapping, basically, EFT tapping is normally coupled with like statements, so like healing statements. So you can do something like, so you're like, and when you're doing EFT tapping, focus on the sensation on your body. Don't focus on everything else. It's about bringing presence, bringing awareness back to your body. Because a lot of times when anxiety and stress spikes in, we feel like we are losing control of our body. That is when anxiety, like, that is when those episodes come. But EFT tapping is primarily about bringing presence back to the body, reminding you that you are in your body and you are safe. And even as much as outside might not be safe, this is the one place where you can feel safe. So you can start and say something like, I am scared that they might be leaving me, but I understand that I do not know what they are doing. I can only control how I perceive their absence or their silence. And I understand that I am hurt by this. I accept that I do not want this, but I'm going to work on feeling safe at the moment. At this point, your primary focus is feeling safe. Once you're done, I think it's somewhere around here. You can go check out on YouTube after here. I think it's somewhere around your temples, then here, then here, then here, then basically you finish with here. And what happens is by the time you're done with that, you've brought awareness back to your body. That is what happens. And for some reason, you're just going to feel relaxed. You're going to feel safe. Apart from EFT tapping, you can harness your sensory senses in the sense that you listen to some kind of music that is going to bring you to a state of calm. That is going to bring you back to your center, to you, because that is where that is the goal, to go back to your center, to go back to a state of equilibrium. Alternatively, you can say you need to go sleep or just lie down or be still. Do not move around, because in moments, they say burps are memories of food you ate. In moments of stress and anxiety, it's easy to lose control of yourself. It's easy to run out and say, you know what, maybe if I do this, I'll forget. No. Sit with that, okay? So you find when you incorporate knowledge of what you know is good for you with acceptance of the impact of what was done to you, with somatic safety, these three are going to give you 1 + 1 as 2. So it's in order to overturn this equation, what do? Logic over wound plus nervous system regulation. It's going to give you equilibrium, neutrality. Let me know in the comments anything you'd like me to talk about in the next video. But as for now, I've just changed your life, my G. I've just changed your life. And if you know someone who knows someone who knows someone who knows somebody who has a whiteboard, come to mama. Anyway, see you in the next video. Bye.